to Louisville now. We opened the show and we talked about so many reasons to celebrate, and one of them is Women's Equality Day. With me now is Gretchen Hunt. She is the director for the Mayor's Office for Women. Gretchen, welcome back. Good to see you again.
Good morning.
I love that color.
Thank you.
What do we call that? Is that like a
I don't
mint?
know, mint green, but it's also sometimes shows up in Racing Louisville's colors. So I'm always representing women's sports here.
You're so together. You look fantastic. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk a little bit about your office and what it does. You've been on this show before, or one of our shows here on Metro TV. And a little overview for those who do not know, what is the Office for Women? What do you accomplish?
Sure. So the Office for Women has been in place since 1991, but now moving up to 2025, our work is more important than ever. So we just try to make sure that we are building as strong a Louisville as possible for women and gender diverse folks, and we do that through programming, through education, through policy. So recently we even invited men into the conversation. We had a training called Office for Women Allies for men to join the work that we're doing, to focus on them as caregivers, them as allies, their mental health, how they show up to prevent violence against women. So even though it's an office for women, what we're trying to do is build a stronger, safer, healthier Louisville, along with the mayor's mission, but make sure that really works for women too.
Yeah, a lot of the issues you contend with, and I know there's many, but number one, of course, safety. And you have educated me somewhat in our conversations, both on camera and off camera, about how important that is and how, you know, women need to feel safe, especially in environments when they're by themselves or with their children. Talk a little about that, if you would.
Sure. So, of course, that is the mayor's #1 priority. And I think what we all want and deserve in Louisville, and we're all striving to promote safety. And so when we talk about women, that also means things that go beyond even crime. So it's whether or not you feel comfortable in a place, whether you're going to walk down a street, do you feel like you belong there? Is that sidewalk wide enough to push a stroller? So just really thinking about how do we design things and how do we create a city that works for everyone. And usually if a place is safe for women and kids, it's probably safe for everybody. It's probably a place that you want to hang out and be there. So women are also sometimes a good barometer of how a city can be functioning for everybody.
You're perfect for the office. You are so busy and you're so passionate and you're making a difference. So thank you before I go any further.
Absolutely.
Okay, August 23rd.
Yes.
Big day.
Yes.
So tell folks about it.
So Women's Equality Day is celebrated around the country, and it really honors women's right to vote, which happened a long time ago, but it's always good to remind why it's important that we all vote. So we're celebrating it Saturday, August 23rd at Atherton High School. I am an alum, so a little plug for Atherton, but we are partnering with students there. We have an all-star lineup and a discussion with Coach Reid of women's basketball at Bellarmine, and just retired Colonel Clemmer of the Louisville Fire Department, talking about engagement and excellence. So we're really highlighting the role of women in a lot of ways.
So this just is not only about the right to vote and women's equality, which is first and foremost on that day, but also it sounds like your speakers, women that people can admire and be inspired by, right? So tell me a little bit more about each one of your speakers.
Yeah, so the theme is engagement and excellence, because really voting is a way that you engage civically, but we want to go beyond that. We want to show why it's important for women to show up and be active in a lot of roles of power. So Colonel Clemmer is just retired from Louisville Fire Department, but she was the highest serving woman ever in the history of the fire department, which is really phenomenal. Women firefighters are only 4% of firefighters nationally, so it's really great that we had such a prominent woman. And Coach Monique, Reid of Bellarmine women's basketball, she'll tell you more, but she will really hype their team. But we know the energy around women's sports right now. We know that it's one of the fastest growing industries, that Louisville has a premier professional team. The one professional team in the state is Racing Louisville here in Louisville. So both of them will really talk about their own careers and how they show up with excellence and engagement, and hopefully inspire other girls and women to step up in whatever field they're in.
You just touched upon a question I wanted to ask you, because that's a big part of what you do in your office, is inspiring young women to become leaders like yourself. I hope you'll speak at this event, but tell me, how important is that to your office? Is really developing a culture where women feel like I'm not only equal, I can do anything I want. And I know that's easy to say, kind of a cliche,
Yeah.
but it's true.
Yeah, it is. And I think that we do it together. And so I would actually spin that question a little bit and say how important it is right now to do work intergenerationally. So not just with young women, but with older women who have a lot of wisdom. And I think that's the magic, actually. So a number of the women helping to plan the event are at all stages of life. Plus, we have young women. So I think if everybody looks at each other, because the youth also have a lot of integrity and passion and vision right now. So we have a lot to learn from them as well. So we really do enjoy doing that at the Office for Women. Grace James Academy will have some students there. We love partnering with them, with the Georgia Chaffee Tap School, with all JCPS schools and any other schools, parochial or otherwise in the area. We have interns throughout the year that help us. So young people are really a cornerstone of the Office for Women as well.
Gretchen, I know something that's important to the mayor, Mayor Greenberg, and you, Gretchen Hunt, is to really solve a problem, you have to identify the problem. Like, okay, what is the issue? How do we become a safer city? How do we express the fact that we're all about equality for everyone? What issues do you see in Louisville right now that you're trying to tackle?
Well, take even gun violence, which our whole community is really suffering from, but particular neighborhoods experience higher rates of gun violence. Most of those neighborhoods also have more women-headed households. So it is a gendered issue in terms of how we're supporting moms who are raising kids who may be exposed to more gun violence. So something like that, we look at where are the assets in community? Who are the women leaders? The other thing that people should know is that those same hotspots for gun violence are also some of the areas where we had the most applicants for our Office for Women Ambassador Leadership Program. So what that tells me is the solution to a lot of the problems. So not just understanding the scope of the problem of gun violence, but what's the solution? I think there are strong women leaders that are part of that solution. So that's part of what our office does, is both identify problems, but identify the assets in community and strengthen those bonds between women from all across this city. We do that very well, I think, through the ambassador program.
So tell me a little bit more about that. We got a little time here. I know August 23rd, we want to stay with that, but the ambassador program, how would a young woman get involved?
So that is women and gender diverse folks from any age. So we have applications that will come out in September, so soon, for the 2026 cohort. It'll be our fourth cohort from January to June. They meet a day a month. So people apply, and we try to get a cross section of at least one person from every of the Metro Council districts. So last year we had 162 applicants from all 26 districts. And that is an amazing opportunity for women and folks to meet each other who are from Smoketown to Prospect, from California all the way down to Fern Creek. And that's been a beautiful program. And they're planning Women's Equality Day. So you actually won't hear me speak as much at Women's Equality Day. I'll be there, but the ambassadors will be representing our office. And that's what we're trying to do, is really share that leadership and that power of this office so that people feel ownership and know that this city government is their own. It really does belong to them.
So for people who want tickets for August 23rd, that's Atherton High School. You mentioned that, all those fantastic speakers. Okay, where would they go?
They can just show up that day. It's from 10 to 12:30. If you want to register in advance, that gives us a sense of how many folks and how many people might need childcare or interpretation, so that's helpful. But otherwise, you can just come. Men, women, girls, boys, everybody is welcome.
Thank you so much, Gretchen.
Thank you.
Gretchen, appreciate what you do. Okay, that would be a great event on the 23rd. So we talked about World Fest celebration, Women's Equality Day. We talked a little educational segment on the ABC. So we want to thank you so much for joining us here. We appreciate it. Keep tuning in to Louisville Now. Tell your friends about Metro Television. You want to be up to date on the city, know what great people like Gretchen Hunt do, then please keep tuning in to Louisville Now. We'll see you next time.